Up in the box, baseball fans. Welcome back to another episode with Brett and John. What's up, John? Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you. It has been a minute since we've had a Batter Up episode, hasn't it? It feels like it's been a month, although it's probably only been like 2 weeks. Last week was Memorial Day, kind of threw us off. You were on vacation. I had some stuff going on. We finally got around to it. A lot going on this week, but I'm free tonight. So we're going to do an episode of Batter Up. Hopefully we get a nice crew in here. I know that we always try to bring it for you guys, even though this is a very, very ad hoc late episode. But yeah, a lot going on, a lot of good topics tonight. We're going to do a box battle. You got your winner ready? I won the last round, by the way. So I was pretty stoked about that. I think I pulled a Jose Ramos Speckle out of 199, maybe. That was the best card I had, which I think beat yours. So not bad.
It's been so long, man.
It has been. It has been. I didn't send that off to PSA yet. But speaking of PSA, you want to start with the $15 special as our first topic?
Yeah, PSA dropping their special. I think it's $19.90 to present, $15 a card. I think I'll have to double check this, but I think it's $199 declared value, which to me, at this point, I don't care because
let them
guys, let them upcharge you, put stuff in there and send it in. Their times are great, and let them upcharge you. That last upcharge I got only delayed it a couple days.
Yeah, no, and I also caught that it's only a 10 card minimum.
Oh, is it 10?
Yeah, it's 10. Normally it's 20. So I went to submit an order today for I was thinking I was going to have to do 20, and then I looked up and I had 18 cards in, and I looked up and it said it kind of made the appearance like I was good to go, and I was like, well, let me just try to go to the next step and see if it tells me that I need to get 2 more cards. And then I went to the next step and I was like, oh, well, let me go check the website, and I did, and it said 10 card minimum. So that's nice. That way you don't feel rushed to get it all in up front. You can do smaller orders. That way you get some different graders. I got one order back. I did a review on my channel under the $16 special, and let's just say it could have been better. It could have been worse. I got some really cool cards in there that were 10s, but my gem rate was not good. It was like 33%, which sucks. And Stadium Club Chrome, which you were telling me you were looking at the pop reports, the number of 10s versus 9s was like really favorable to 10s for certain cards like the X-Fractor, the Parallels, stuff like that. Mine was completely the opposite. I got 1 gem and 5 9s. So, yeah, that was a tough pill to swallow. I don't know what I'll do with the 9s. I don't know if I'll crack them and resubmit them. If I will just, move off of them, I'll keep them for PC. Who knows? But there's some cool cards in there. Some cool X-Fractors that did not get gems, and that's disappointing. A couple waves, too.
We've talked about this in the past where it's just hard to predict who you're going to get, what's going to happen. I'm still perplexed about these Golden Mirror super short prints from Series 1. It's so there's been a few people who are like, why are you submitting those? Well, dude, these are like the feature cards from that they're advertising as the best cards, right? You know what I mean? But
right.
I just felt like somebody might be going for the $1 million bounty. I mean, what if the end of the year comes and that $1 million bounty's out there and somebody can pick these cards up for $100 a piece in PSA 10s?
Yeah.
Would you spend, I mean, realistically, would somebody spend not $100,000 to get a $1 million bounty? I would say they would. I mean,
yeah,
if you got the money. But anyway, just 2 different graders. No 10s, and
it's kind of like
7s.
That's crazy. I can't believe I saw your review. It was mostly 8s and a couple 7s.
You know how hard it is to get 7s on freshly packed pulled cards?
I can imagine. I did an SGC order once under a $9 tier, and I got a 7.
Yeah, SGC is a way tougher. So to get a PSA 7 and a modern card, I'd have to go through of all the cards I've submitted. I think I've gotten like 2 under an 8. of
Maybe
all
they
time.
factored it. They meant to put 9 and they put 7. I don't know. Maybe it's handwriting. Somebody's like, "Hey, they look at that. They wrote 9. No, they wrote 7, right?"
Brian's got a good question in the chat about, does PSA always take significantly longer with vintage cards? Yes, they do.
I've heard
I
that.
don't submit. I don't submit vintage, but I have a friend who has submitted lots of vintage, and his orders are taking a lot longer time. And plain and simple, the reason it does is because they didn't add graders to vintage, because you have to have
Yeah.
knowledge, and there's so much more to go with vintage.
No, I agree. Because imagine if you gave it to a newbie who's grading ultra modern, they're going to look at like a pretty good card, like let's call it Robin Yount's rookie. 4 sharp corners, pretty good centering, but maybe he's got a surface smudge or something. They might grade it like they're grading the ultra modern and give it like a 2, right? But it should be like a 7, right? So yeah, that's a great point. I know that Mike from Bench Clear Media grades a lot of vintage. He said the same thing, that it takes a while. They got to have multiple sets of eyes looking at it to make sure they're all kind of in agreement. Seems like the ultra modern stuff, they let some of that go a little bit as far as whether there's agreement or not, because it seems like they're just trying to pump stuff out. They got to get 1 million cards out a month. There's not 1 million vintage cards to grade, so we all know where the pop report is biased. It's to the ultra modern stuff.
No, and you and I were kind of talking about this beforehand. This has been the trend the last few years, where the summertime, June and July, have been slower months. So I'm not surprised that they lowered the price $1 to try to entice people to get in.
Yeah, no, I think there's a couple things that'll go on with that, right? Because we got the National coming up. We'll talk about that as well. They're going to be live at the National. You said they were just live at the Dallas Card Show, because I had an order there that was stuck in grading for 19 days. And I thought, this is crazy. Like, stuff's been going through like super fast. Well, when you said, oh, they were at the Dallas Card Show live, kind of dawned on me, oh, that makes sense now. It took some of their staff away. So as soon as the Dallas Card Show was over, they were all back at the facility. The stuff cranked through relatively quick. So it wasn't that they got more cards. It's just the staff was distributed in different places. So maybe the summer special is a way to fill up the coffers a little bit before you get to the National, because you're not going to have a lot of people grading at the National. You got to have something that they'll go back to, right? So you need to fill up that hopper with, I said coffers, but that'd be like filling up your pockets. But you get the point. They need to. They are filling up their pockets with our money. We keep sending them cards. They keep cashing the checks. So that's
For
it.
sure. I saw another one too. I really like this. I Filth Bomb breaks. Filth Bomb breaks. I'm pretty sure it was with PSA. I'm gonna go back. I didn't have this on the list, but I kind of I like seeing this kind of stuff where I think, forgot which breaker it was earlier, had SGC in the studio where they did breaks that day. A Bowman came out,
Yep.
and then they were submitting cards. Well, Filth Bomb, I think, did it with PSA. I think that is a amazing service to get in those breaks. I should have, if I would have known about it, I should have paid to get into some of those breaks. But it's pretty cool what's happening. There's a lot of new stuff. Some stuff I like, some stuff I don't like. Leading into 2023 Top Series 2 coming out. Guys, girls watching, go check out John's channel and go back. He's got a video on the odds, and he called pretty much everything, and then Striker came out with a video.
Everything you saw yesterday in Striker's video, that I'm not going to be bitter about it, because Striker has a way bigger following than I did. But everything that was in his video was in my video about 2 to 3 weeks ago. Literally called the number of hobby boxes, the number of jumbo boxes. Anybody can do the math, but it was nice to see that I was spot on with one of the best breakers out there. And yeah, and he even shouted me out. That was by far my best video. That video, the last time I checked, had about 3,700 views. And it finally put me over 500 subscribers, which is kind of crazy to think that I'm almost at 300 videos and I've barely gotten 2 subscribers per video. But all it takes is one, and then it vaults you a little bit forward. So now I got to find that next video that I'm going to put a little bit more production value into. Try to do something around the National. I would like to go live at the National now that I know I have unlimited data, which we upgraded our plan to unlimited data. We should have done that a while ago. We got that. I got enough people that I can go live, so I'm going to do that.
Heck yeah, man. I love it, dude. Keep up the good work.
Going back to Series 2. They Tops did the old switcheroo. Jumbos were the bangers in Series 1. Now it's the regular hobby boxes. Not that jumbos are terrible, but they're not nearly as good as they were in Series 1. They made less of them and they put less hits in them. So about a 10% reduction in, or actually it's more than that. The way I looked at it is, of the 100% of hits that are out there, 28% of them are in hobby format with less of a production run than you had in Series 1, versus 18% of that total population is in the jumbos with a significantly lower print run. So yeah, the odds are not quite as good as Series 1. They're not horrible, but they made a lot less of them, and the hobby format to me is the one to go after. So I pre-ordered 2, and if it comes out this week, I'll probably pick up 2 or 3 more. And I'm going to those.
Not to mention that they raised the jumbo prices $50.
Oh yeah, because they knew everybody would want them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They did it on purpose. This is like a game of like leapfrog to find out what the market will bear. I think so. Here's what I predict will happen. We've got updates still coming, right? So Tops, they did the old switcheroo. They charge you more for a jumbo on the pre-order. They're not going to go backwards on that. They're going to charge you $200 when it drops next week. Then they charge you $90 for the hobby box, but then they load it full of hits, so they know like, oh, the hobby box, it's probably like a $125 box, really. So then you'll see that creep up, and then the price will come out for update. Jumbos will be $200, and the hobby box will be $120 instead of $90. I'm calling it now. That's exactly what's going to happen. They're trying to set the new floor. It might work. It might not work. And then what will probably happen with update, they'll put all the hits in retail. And I have no problem with that. But
yeah, I have no problem with that at all.
First, right? I have no problem. That would be awesome. I would love a great update product like we had last year. Do it all over.
It comes down to price point. People want value, and I saw there's some people have already started getting their hobby boxes from Tops, which is crazy. Yeah,
I haven't seen anything ship yet.
Saw a guy last night get a bunch, and he was starting to rip already. It's crazy. Not on YouTube, it was on a Facebook group. But man, I'm excited. I don't know how excited I am for the rookie class. There's looks to be some pretty good players. Garrett Mitchell, James Outman, Francisco Alvarez, Josh Jung, Jordan Walker, Corbin Carroll. Walker just got called back up again yesterday, so that's good to see.
You said Volpe.
Volpe, yep.
Yeah, I actually think this rookie class in this product is pretty good compared to what we've had in the last couple years. Series 2, 2019 Series 2 was the last like really good one with Tatis and Alonso, and there's probably a couple other guys I'm forgetting about, but this is actually a lot better than I thought it would be. They didn't hold anybody out. They put all the guys in there we thought they would put in there, and probably a few more we weren't expecting. So I think overall Series 2 this year, a hell of a lot better than Series 2 last year just for base rookies. But they did water the product down overall compared to last year. Looking at retail, hanger boxes for the golds are 1 in 7. If I looked at last year, I don't know if you have any boxes handy, but I think you might. But if you do, flip it over. I believe the odds were 1 in 6 for a gold, if I'm not mistaken. But Brett's gonna keep me honest.
So I got my eyesight checked at the end of the school year, and
it's not good.
Vision. It's 1 in 4 gold out of a hanger box from last year.
That was so I was wrong. Okay, it was 1 in 4. Okay, so that changes things because I thought it was 1 in 6. So they did print in retail, whether they printed more or whether they held the hits out. It's about 75% less as good, And that wasn't great last year for Series 2, I'll be honest. When I opened a decent amount of that, my hanger boxes were super dry. So I don't know. I mean, I think retail formats for me, I'm going to steer clear of them. I will buy some hobby. I'd like to buy some fat packs if I can. I'd love to get a case, but the price has to be right there, and who knows what will happen then. But if we can get get a good price on that, I think that would be a good buy. So other than that, stay away from the blasters. You are going to see the giant boxes. They're okay. I mean, if you want one for a casual rip here or there, they're not bad. I mean, they're not awful, but they're not as good as last year's.
Yeah, I've been kind of waiting, shopping around, see what happens. I'll definitely open some Series 2. You got to open some Series 2. I'm just still um, haven't come to grips with like Series 1 and Series 2 and Update Series not having short prints.
Yeah, that is a
Like imagine this
really
Series 2
unfortunate.
with short prints
Yeah.
of all these rookies.
I know they have.
It adds so much value to the product.
I agree. Even though there's going to be a golden mirror SSP of everybody, and you can still pull that. I think the SPs, the regular SPs, the pull rates being a little bit easier to come by is always a good fun way to go. Really disappointing that we're not going to see that.
I mean, your chance of pulling an SSP that's so tough. I'm trying to remember. I opened 2 jumbo cases, and I think I pulled 3 total. And
Yeah.
they're just so tough to pull. It just even if you do pull one in a 330 card checklist, what's your one in there's 7 or 8 good rookies. I mean of now. So your chance of even getting one of those guys, that's why I like the regular short prints. When
Right.
I'm opening up a 500 hanger box of Update, I'm gonna pull a couple Bobby short prints. I'm gonna pull a couple Julio short prints, and those cards help fund what you're opening.
Right. Well, hopefully, here's what we see is that the national rolls around in 50 some days, and enough of that product's been opened, and you can buy some of that stuff raw. That would be the way to go. Somebody
Yeah.
asked about hangers. I don't know if they might have joined after I mentioned it, but Brett looked at the back of the hanger from Series 2 last year. Goals were 1 and 4, and Series 2 this year, even though it's better than Series 1 by a lot, it's 1 and 7 for gold. So it's still not near as good as where we were last year. And last year we considered it pretty average at 1 and 4 because Update, I think, was 1 and 3. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like by the time we hit Update, we're going to be looking at golds and hanger boxes about 1 and 5, maybe. And that'll be
Yep.
a lot more than last year.
It'll be interesting to see where things keep going. I went to a card show today. Went to the Oak Creek Card Show set up. No surprise. I would like to know a bunch of people how their eBays are doing. Just overall, like lots of eBay sellers. The Dallas Card Show took place not long ago, and they said that show was popping with activity. The card show today was very down with attendance. I'm not surprised. June, July are really bad months for the card shows.
Yeah, I think
Because
a lot of
summertime,
vacations, a lot
Yeah.
of lot of stuff people do in summer that distracts them. I mean, buying cardboard is not something they do in summertime, right? They got plenty of other good things to do, like go fishing, go to the lake, go boating, go on a
Go to
vacation.
Taylor Swift concerts tonight in Chicago.
My sister went to a Taylor Swift concert. I think it was more her husband wanted to go, not her. But I don't know. They seem to enjoy it. I've never been to a Taylor Swift concert. I don't think I ever will.
My niece was at the card show today, and she said it was going on, and tickets were like $700 for the cheapest ones. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's
Yeah. Chris
that time
says
of year.
2022 updates still king. Yeah. JB says his eBay has slowed. So is mine. I sell a lot on eBay. I mean, it seems like when I price it right, it goes right away. And I do a lot of buy it now. So there's only a few things I'll put on auction because I'm not like Probstein123 or I'm not one of the bigger boys. So I got to be very careful if I put certain items on auction because I'll get screwed. I'm still paying the price for that one jerk off who left me a negative feedback when I shipped him the cards on time, and then he got them, and then he said, well, because he was disappointed that tracking wasn't being updated for plain white envelope shipping. I was like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. Like, there's nothing I can do about this. You're just going to have to trust me that the cards are going to get there. And then he left me negative feedback anyway. I was like, you mother effer.
Yeah, that's the bull
I
crap.
even called eBay. They would not take the negative feedback down. I'm like, he lied. He said he
Yeah,
never
that's
got the card. I'm like, it shows delivered.
yeah, that's
They're like, well,
that's
we believe in all of our users sharing their experience. I'm like, but you couldn't be able to lie.
yeah, that's the one negative thing. It's
So
just super annoying.
it was annoying, but I'm over it. But I am still a little sour about it. Mostly. When JB talked about Bowman University, we wanted to talk about Bowman, but now we got more than just Bowman baseball, right? We've got Bowman Football University and Bowman Basketball University with the Victor Wembanyama hype to no end. Oh my God. Like, this is like Zion all over again. How much you want to bet this dude gets an injury like in the first week of the season he's out for the year? It'd be like Greg Oden all over again.
That's not good.
I don't want to jinx him, but the dude is 7'4". He looks frail. Those guys are not immune to injury. There's a reason why lower center of gravity is good in basketball. Sometimes you pack a punch, but man, 7'4", whew, that the speed of that game is different. It's different in the NBA. It's in the 82 game season with the back-to-backs. It's different.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
going to have to put on some size. He's injury risk with him, and minutes per game is going to be a very, very big concern, even though he's 19.
A workload it's tough, man.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, the NBA is a long season, and I can't wait because even though we're in the NBA Finals, I don't know if you want to talk about that at all. We can go back to that, but
Throw that in there.
let's talk about Bowman first. So we're on to Bowman Megas now. We've seen all the other retail formats, but now we're on to Bowman Megas. And I thought I heard the other day, even though Chris C said he pulled some pretty good stuff, pulled a Trout Gold and he pulled a Drew Jones Mojo. But did I hear it right that Drew Jones and a couple of the other top prospects don't have live autos or even autos in general in those Mojo packs? That really stinks. that completely stinks. So what do you think?
Yeah, it's an interesting checklist in terms of the veterans. I actually like that they have rookies in there. Like, I think the rookies in there are a good thing. But I don't really like that the veterans are in there because there's really no long-term upside to those guys.
That's
A
true.
few of the players, yes, Ohtani, Trout, a couple
Yeah.
guys, but overall,
Um,
I love Jordan Alvarez as a player, but that card isn't going anywhere. Like last year, I don't have any left because I opened all of them. But the 2022 megas, if you have a Julio, that card when he plays awesome, it went up in value a lot. The base Mojo card did. It's not even a first, but
True.
a Jordan Alvarez, that's not going up much. A base Jordan from Bowman Mega, but so I do like the idea of just having rookies in there, but not veterans.
Yeah.
I've watched two 40-box breaks now. I watched the recaps, and there was three Drew Jones pulled, and the other one had five. Seems like it's 3 to 5 per case.
Okay.
And then there's been 6 to 7 autos per case of these are 40-box case too, by the way. And then the hit rate seems to be about 50-50. I opened 3 boxes and all 3 had hits, and I was like, "Oh man, this is awesome."
Yeah.
And then a guy today at the show says I opened 3 and there wasn't a hit in any box.
Yeah, the distribution is not even, and it seems to be. Did anybody see the odds yet on the back of the box? Because they're not on the website. I assumed based on the 40-box cases rips that I watched as well, the hit rate was about 58% to 62%. So it was about the same as last year. So I figured they printed about the same. The one other thing I will point out, So my hobby shop and every hobby shop, they said, oh, Bowman Megas are coming in a hobby version this year. Everybody, look at that, a hobby version. It's like, great. And then I saw it was like $50, and I was like, wait a second. And then I was reading the description of what the pack was, and it said 5 Bowman Chrome packs and 2 Mojo packs. And I'm like, this sounds like the Target version. And so I asked my LCS owner, I was like, Andy, is this the exact same thing that I can get at Target? He's like, yes, I believe so. They just asked us if we wanted it. They offered it to us this year instead of exclusively to Target. And I said, well, that cheapens everything because you're charging more for it than the Target website. Target has discounts. And I thought it was supposed to drive business to hobby shops. You guys should be undercutting what Target gets them for. You guys should be selling them for $40 instead of $50 or $55. I'm like, that makes absolutely no sense. Who in their right mind is, unless they're dumb, I don't want to make fun of anybody, but unless you're not paying attention, you would look at these two variants and say, I can buy the one for $45, and that's still expensive. It's a lot steeper than I'd like to pay, and they watered the product down. Or I can go to my hobby shop and get it for $50. Why would I buy this one at all? I was on the fence about $45. I sure as hell am not going to buy this one. So
it doesn't make sense. I was in watching Restless Craft Breakers. I'm in his Facebook group, and his prices are great. And he said he doesn't like breaking hobby boxes of like Series 1, Update Series, etc., because it's a lot of work to open them, and so he likes the jumbo format, which is awesome. But he's like, for the first time, I could tell in his face, he's like, man, he goes, we can't discount this year because we did not get a discount on these boxes, the jumbos. So they're getting these products and they're taking them just because they know they're going to sell them, but their profit margins have been really cut into big time.
They're taking Fanatics is making them take all the risk.
Yep.
And I don't think that's right, because when the market goes sour on a product, they're left holding the bag on all this stuff, and they've already got it off the books. And this will only create tension, hopefully healthy tension within the market. Is you cannot be what Jeff Wilson would call I forget what the phrase he said is, they're making kind of like alpha male moves, or basically kind of baller moves, basically, that they're dictating to the market like exactly the type of behavior that they would intend to be doing for the next 10 years. I don't think they understand how fragile this market is. Like, unless you have rabid interest and it keeps growing and growing and growing, it can be a detriment to growth by behaving like this too quickly, too soon. Like Chris said, no odds on the Bowman Mega Boxes. I can't find them on the website. If this is a repetition of a behavior that we see where the odds disappear eventually, like they're weaning you off having to look at the odds, it's going to have a lot of people say, no thanks. So this is a very, very fine line that they're walking here by making hobby shops take risk and making it harder to know how much of the product is printed. You're not doing the collectors any favors.
No,
maybe
for
you
sure.
are. Maybe you're helping them not spend money.
I've had this conversation not only today at the show with a couple people, but I had a nice little reset here. School ended, went on a little vacation, stepped away from the card world for a little bit.
That's it. Boss.
And you're right. I've been able to grind my way through and keep it going by buying tons of stuff. Like, somebody in the comments is like, I said, these are the only 3 Bowman Megas I'm gonna do. And somebody's like, you're gonna buy more, and I'm like I've thought long and hard. There's 3 or 4 factors. One, the price on product. The price it's high, and I bought them at $50 last year. But I really believed in that class too. Not that I don't this year, but I really believed in it. So the price is high. The market is changing as we speak. It's still pretty good, but it's coming down. But the biggest thing to me, one of the reasons people ask me all the time, why are you able to buy so many cards and grind them out and keep doing this? It's because I can grade X cards, I can sell those, and I can whittle away and get my money back and
Yeah.
break even and have fun making videos, have fun interacting, have fun opening, have fun with the whole process, right? And there's
Yep.
sometimes you hit some big cards and you're a winner. Sometimes you lose, but the quality of these cards, I don't know about the Bowman Megas this year, but they're not that good. And the grading of base cards is not very good. Regular Bowman, these quality cards, these are trash, dude, for grading. It's bad. I
Yeah.
mean, the autos are bad, and the lunars are bad. So it's like if you're gonna open up $300 boxes and you can't grade one card, I can't. My model doesn't work. Now, can I
You
go
will.
open a three? Can I open a $300 box and have fun? Yes. Do that
Yeah.
once a month, right?
Right.
But I'm not opening up a case after case like I was doing.
Right. Well,
So
you're right. It for the casual pack ripper or casual hobbyist, it's fun for entertainment. It's like going to a casino, playing the slots or something like that, laying $20 down on a blackjack or something, or roulette. Yeah, if that's all you're hoping for is entertainment, you don't really care the condition of the cards. It's cool to say you pulled a card, but knowing that you can't get any value for it, I mean, it doesn't always guarantee value, but it would feel like over time, you'll only play that casino so many times if they keep having a hard time for you to be fulfilled in entertainment, right? So
yeah.
you won't go back there. So
You-
like I said, it's a very fine line that you're walking here. Anthony said it right, that it's not boss moves. It's big egos, really.
I went to Meyer. I went to Meyer yesterday afternoon to take a little break. I needed a couple things, and the card section was full. They stock on Thursday. The card section was loaded, and there was some stuff I would have liked to bought. There were some Topps Chrome 2022 Topps Chrome blaster boxes. I had a $10 coupon from Meyer too, so keep that in mind. Meyer's a little more expensive. I'm like, all right, I'll use $10 and equal it out, but I'm not spending 30 for a blaster of 2020 Topps Chrome, 2022 Topps Chrome. There was the giant boxes; those were 40. I'm not buying those.
Yep.
There was some other stuff. There was some Bowman blasters; those were 40. And the whole shelf is loaded with cards. I mean, I should have done a video, and I'm starting to see more and more cards sitting on the shelf at retail stores. And I think people are starting to like speak. If there's not value, you're not going to open.
Yeah, no, I agree. I can remember the last time I went to a Meijer or Walmart. Shoot, I can't remember the last time I went to a Walmart. It was like last December with Update. But last time I went to a Meijer to the card section was probably over a month ago. I think it was when they had Stadium Club Chrome out. Maybe there was a sale going on. I haven't touched retail since. I don't go to Target anymore. Yeah, I've gone to some stuff online, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's worth it anymore.
No, I'm starting to look at like a lot of the Topps products, similar to what happened with Panini, and they're making all these boxes that don't have any hits in them, and the best you can pull is a silver,
Right.
and you're like, okay, you got to change, you got to pivot, and I'm gonna open some stuff, but I'm definitely not gonna grind out like I've been doing because it doesn't make sense at this point. It really
Right.
doesn't. So I'm kind of came to a head here, taking a nice little break. I still got some stuff I want to open. I'll do a little more, but I'm not gonna go buy 100 Bowman Megas this year.
Well,
I'm not doing it.
Brett's got to open something on his channel because that You gotta keep it going. You're on your way.
Dude.
You're on your road to 7,000, right?
There's only so much though. I'm
There's
I'm
only
I'm
so much.
good. I'm good opening good products, but
Yeah,
I thought Stadium Club Chrome was a great product. That's why I opened it. I still think that product's great.
yeah. We
But
got a good question in here. I want to hit the Zeke's cards question. So with the contract ending for Ohtani, when's the best time to sell? Honestly, it's probably, unless they make a deep playoff run, I would probably sell when the hype is there about which team he's going to sign with. Because if it's like the Yankees or the Red Sox or some big, the Angel, not the Angels, the Dodgers, some big market team, that's when everybody from that new team is going to want his cards. I feel like that's the best time to sell. Cubs.
Suzuki recruiting him.
You wish.
Dude. If there's any, I was talking to. I'm not for spending that kind of money on players at this point. After you see what happened with Pujols, with some of these other huge players, these contracts look really bad. But if
Yeah.
there's any one player that you're going to spend that kind of money on a player, it's Ohtani.
Oh, it's the guy
Because
that can do what nobody else can, right?
he's doing what no, I mean, he immediately, what's his, you know what, I'm going to pull up his WAR.
Yeah, I was looking at that before the video. It's in the top 10, but it's not at the top anymore. Actually, I wanted to cover that with regards to the MLB latest. Remember how everybody was saying Wander Franco is a bust?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Wander Franco sucks. Julio Rodriguez is the best thing ever. Wander Franco leads the MLB in WAR. I'll just leave it at that. Mic drop.
He's amazing.
He's 22 years old. A career is not made in the first year.
Just kind of looking at his career
Everybody
stats.
was off of Wander, and we probably all should have been buying Wander. I'm selling it now, but I know there's going to be hype on him, especially if they make a deep playoff run.
I need a who's got a good website that has outside of Baseball Reference and ESPN for stats. Like I want to see his combined WAR with pitching and hitting.
ESPN has it, but it's 2.7 right now.
And that's combined with
I think
pitching.
so.
By the end of the year, dude, that's why I was trying to pull it up to see what he had as a career. Year by year.
The WAR this year is not very good. It's right now it stands at 1, which is kind of surprising, but take a look at his actual individual stats. So he's 5-2. He's got a 3 ERA, 100 strikeouts, pretty good. But yeah, his offensive WAR right now is 1. That's what's holding him back. Normally he would have a little bit higher. If he was at a 2, he would be leading the league in WAR. So his offense is really what's holding him back. If you sort by offense for the MLB this year for WAR and see who's actually at the top, it's Bo Bichette, which I think would surprise a lot of people.
Dude, the guy just gets hits all the time.
Yeah.
His value should be higher. His value should be higher.
Freddie Freeman should probably be higher. Aaron Judge is up there. Acuna is on an MVP type season. Marcus Semien, that guy delivers like year after year. Nobody gives him any hype. I know he's on bad teams, but his WAR is always pretty solid. From what I remember, his WAR last year was pretty solid too. So Soto is picking it up. He's in the top 10 for offensive WAR. Mookie Betts, Corbin Carroll, Paul Goldschmidt now finally playing good again. Yeah, anything can happen in the major league season. It's such a long season. It doesn't and it's funny. I don't know. Julio Rodriguez is doing okay, but he certainly isn't like playing like a top 10 player. I mean, he's all the way down in his WAR is 1.5. So
yeah, you can't panic on these guys. Like look at Juan Soto. He comes out, has a horrible opening month, and then has a huge, and then it's like, oh man, he is who we thought he was. And good players over the course of a season are gonna go through and start hitting.
I had a old manager at work who used to be really into fantasy baseball, and he always had a saying. Is he said Major League Baseball players usually play to their baseball card, and it is so true. If you look at it, the entirety of a season, if a guy plays to 30 home runs and 100 RBIs, no matter how he starts the year, no matter how he is in the middle of the year, by the end of the year, if that's what he normally does, he normally plays to that baseball card. So you just got to be patient.
You know, I
There are
was
always statistical outliers, but yeah.
it's crazy.
The hobby ignores Pete Alonso. If you're interested, I have a sick Pete Alonso blue logo fractor PSA 10 up for sale on my eBay page now. I mean, it's probably the only one listed on eBay. I don't even need to tell people my eBay page. Just go search for that card. If you're interested, make a deal. I've got it for sale now. So
I don't know who was in charge of drafting some guys for the Cubs, but I was looking at the home run and they were looking for power. And Soler and Schwarber are still in the tops of the home runs hit. It's crazy. They pitch up Patrick Wisdom. It's just
yeah.
like they found dudes that can hit bombs. That's for sure.
Dansby Swanson has actually played pretty well this year overall. He was, I think,
dude, he's been really good. And
yeah, he's in the top 10 in WAR overall.
What you don't see there is from watching him day to day, man, that dude can play shortstop. That guy can play. I think the Cubs might. I wasn't super excited about that because it wasn't the sexy signing, but he might be the best shortstop that was signed in the offseason.
Who? Oh, Swanson?
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's playing well.
Way back when I made a video on my channel talking about players that could be in for a solid WAR season, and defensive WAR was sort of the baseline. And it was like, okay, in a new environment, would this person have better or worse offensive stats? And I used Dansby Swanson as an example because he was solid in Atlanta. And I thought, well, he's actually probably in a better hitter's park in Wrigley, even though he's got cold weather to deal with on the poles of the season. But I thought, that could be a good spot for him because his defensive WAR is always pretty good. So he could be in for a top 10 season. And so far it's playing out. I had a couple other guys on that list that didn't work out, but I'll take credit for the ones that do.
That's funny.
I have to go back and watch that video because it was fun to make that list. And it was like, like 10 guys that you thought, should anybody pay attention to these guys? Because they always have solid defensive wars. If they're in the right offensive place and figure it out, they could have really good seasons because they're always going to be good defenders.
It's been an interesting start to the year. Can't believe next thing you know, the All-Star break will be coming up, which is crazy.
I'm not salty at Bowman, Brent. I'm not at all. I missed the comments a couple of times. Had a lot of I'll go back. No worries. I'm not salty.
Super salty.
Brett, can you hit the button there to display comments, or am I the only one that can do that?
I don't. I think you have to give me access to do that. Next time.
I always thought that anybody can see them. You can always see them, but I don't know if you can actually make them go on the screen. So
I don't see them. I think you can maybe give me access to it, but
we'll have to.
It is what it is. We'll play around.
We'll play around with it.
Oh, what else you got? I know we just talked briefly. Panini got broken into over the Memorial Day weekend.
What's Memorial Day? Indy 500?
No, well, that too. Indy 500 was a pretty awesome race.
Who watched the Indy 500 in chat? Just a quick show of hands. I don't know if it's anybody's real thing. I got another video coming out. I got to record it after this. I got my IndyCar picks for tomorrow. They got a race in Detroit. That is one of the bumpiest, most crazy track with cars going airborne around corners. I had no idea what's going to happen. But in the Indy 500, my pick was right again. I delivered for you guys at Joseph Newgarden at 15-1. He was in the Indy 500, I picked 5 guys. I picked 5 guys, some long shots, some favorites. If you pick the full set and I'm right, I will make you money. Normally, you got to play it right. But Joseph Newgarden was one of my picks, and he made that last lap pass. Amazing. And of my 5 picks, 4 of them were in the top 6. So some of my viewers on my channel do bet with me, and I hope they win money, but I hope they don't lose money. But every time I bet, just to give you kind of, I don't know if you played. Is sports betting legal in Illinois?
It is.
Okay. So if you bet, and you bet on guys up front, when the race starts, you can always do live betting. I always cover the bet, right? When it looks like somebody's going to win, whatever I have into the bet, I always try to cover it with the guy that about halfway through the race is most likely to win if it's a guy I don't have, right? So then I have a better chance. I might double down and lose, but I can also cover the bet so I come out break even in case it doesn't play out my favor. So tomorrow, I'm going to go back to my standard 3 picks, and they might surprise you.
Oh, baby. The standard 3. That was crazy, that tire that flew off, man. Thank God that thing went up and over the stands and into the parking lot, because that would have killed some people.
That would have killed somebody. I can only imagine if that would have went into the suites, because the suites, it was right there on the turn 2 suites, right? And it went right in between the grandstands and the suites. But if that thing would have went right into the turn 2 suites, that would have killed several people, because those are tight suites. That was no joke. And the only thing I didn't like about the race was the multiple red flags. That broke the continuity of the race. I think they could have done without 3 red flags, although I liked the fact that they had the last one because it gave me a chance to win my bet, because Erickson was leading going into that last red flag, and I think he was a little salty about that. But, honestly, I think the race played out almost exactly how I thought. It was tough to pass. You had to pass right on a green, right after a yellow ended, right on a green. You could do that slingshot move, and it was much like the Daytona 500. Guys were going for it. They were going for it. They weren't patient at the end, and you saw a lot of wrecks. And it can get very dangerous in IndyCar, and cars go airborne pretty easily. But yeah, I thought the race played out great, and I knew Newgarden would win eventually. It wasn't a matter of if; it was a matter of when.
Yeah, somebody who was in the comments here said, "Can't wait for NASCAR in Chicago." It's Rick T. I am interested to see how that's going to play out. And there's certain ways I would love to go, but other ways, the viewing in downtown Chicago, I don't know if that's going to be any good either.
Yeah.
And
I wish they would have kept it at Road America. That was the date that they lost to Chicago. They repaved Road America. It would have set a track record. I mean, it's the smoothest glass this year. Going up there in 2 weeks to the IndyCar race. I actually invited Brett, so Brett may go.
There's a possibility on that.
Possibility you can make a day trip up to Elkhart Lake, but we'll do some box battles in the parking lot during the race. You could, put it on video. But maybe we could do a batter up episode that morning. I don't know. Maybe just throwing things out there. You let me know.
That'd be cool.
But
I was kind of looking at the NASCAR schedule.
But yeah, that with a brand new paved track as smooth as glass, there could be a really good, exciting race up there, no matter what series was up there. So it's really sad that NASCAR is not going to be at that track. I think they'll be back there eventually. I think it's just a matter of fitting the date in. So we'll see. But it was always a great crowd.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see how the racing is going to be. I don't care where they race at as long as it's good racing. And I just don't see a road course in Chicago being all that great of racing. But we'll see. We will see.
That Chicago track reminds me of the one they're racing this week at Detroit. It's very bumpy. It's just 90-degree corners. I don't like tracks like that. But you guys will just have to watch my video. I'm gonna play it a little bit against the grain. I think pit strategy is gonna matter tomorrow. So I'll just leave it at that.
Heck yeah. What else we got? Anything? You got anything else?
We didn't really touch too much on the National. Do you want to talk about the National at all? I mean, I think now that we're getting really close, we did say that we would do some kind of a meetup at the National, but we actually probably need to pick a day I will be there Saturday and Sunday, so maybe Saturday night sounds like the best bet. We just got to figure out where. I'm sure we can find some space, but Saturday night will probably be pretty busy hotel wise, but we'll probably try to work something out then. And yeah, that's the only other thing. Good question by Chris. NBA Finals. Who you got in the NBA Finals, real quick?
I mean, what did Denver won the first game, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much dominated. I
They're
think
gonna take it
Denver's going to
down.
win.
Yeah.
I think it's a Denver destiny kind of year. Jokic with the back-to-back MVPs, team finally playing good, healthy. I mean, the Heat are a very interesting story because they took out my Bucks very early, and everybody's like, "Oh, the Heat suck." We ended up making it to the finals, so they didn't suck. But I think it's the end of the road for the Heat. I think Denver's just too much for them.
I agree, and I don't watch that much, but I feel like they're going to take it down. The Joker.
When did card companies stop giving coaches their own? Yeah, that's funny. We saw a few of those in football. I think there was a Rex Ryan one maybe, and I don't know, maybe there was a couple others. But speaking of football products, I didn't really touch on this, but Optic Football. I don't think you bought any of that. I bought a few.
No.
That's actually a pretty fun product. It's got a lot of.
It's funny you say that because I didn't have it on the list either.
Yeah.
And I've had multiple people sending me messages saying, you need to open Optic Football. There's autos, numbered cards, downtowns, and the hit rates are really good in those from what I've seen from people.
Yeah. I opened 2 blasters on my channel, and I would say that I could have done better, but I didn't feel like as bad as I would have like with Panini Football, like Prism. I opened Prism last year. Like we opened a box battle on Prism, and it was like, this stuff is not good. Optic it's fun. I will say the fun factor is there. I pulled a Desmond Ridder pink. I mean, Jeff Wilson seems to think he's going to be the next best thing ever. He paid $23,000 for a one-of-one auto of a guy who's played 2 games. But Jeff's a genius.
Crazy. Yeah, you could have got a case of blasters of that stuff for super, super, super cheap. And I haven't looked at the prices of Optic Football. I just haven't looked.
Yeah, they've gone up. They're actually selling out on Target now. I think even people with bots are after them. I mean, if they go live, they sell out within 30 seconds, a minute. You can still get them, but it's not like they're staying up there for days on end. It is a popular product, and the downtown pull rate's like 1 out of every 20 boxes roughly. So that's not bad. And the checklist on the downtown is still pretty solid. So hey, yeah, he sees my shirt. I'm a Yellowstone fan. Yeah. I don't know when does the second half of the season 5 come out? I know that's coming out soon, but yeah, I'd like Optic right now on the Target web. It's out of stock, so people are buying it.
Speaking of shows, I watched the first couple episodes of Fubar on.
I saw that
with my parents, and then I watched 2 more the next day, and I think there's 8 episodes. I'm gonna watch those. Probably watch those tonight and tomorrow. I've enjoyed that.
It's funny.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I think I've watched 3 episodes, so don't spoil it for me. But it was I came across it. I was like, actually, this isn't. I mean, it's a typical Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, playing a spy or whatever. But and it is. I won't spoil it for anybody, but yeah, not bad. Not a bad show.
Hey, Bama Slamma Sports Cards Ken is in here. He's been opening optic blasters like crazy, and he's been pulling some fire.
Yeah, I've seen on IG. I've seen the posts. He pulled some downtowns and some other stuff. Yeah, the pull rates, like I said, they're not bad. I mean, if you open 20 blasters, I feel like 1 out of every 5 blasters is going to have a pretty cool insert in it. and maybe an
That
auto.
auto, maybe pull
And
downtown.
the checklist is good enough where you're getting the quarterbacks in the parallels. So it's not a bad product. That's probably the best Panini product that's came out in a long time.
Another thing we didn't have on the list, but Bowman Sapphire, 2023 Bowman Sapphire. If
Yep.
you strictly bought that product at $375 to flip in, see, my problem is I would have bought those boxes and opened it at $375. That's a lot of money, and I
Yep.
don't know if the value was there to open them. But if you strictly bought those at $375 to flip and sale, you've done well if you've sold them, because say you
Oh,
bought 10 of them. If you bought 10 of them at $375, it's 400 all in. They've been selling for 700 all day. So if you sold them locally for 600 bucks cash a piece, making 200 bucks, you did well on 10 boxes.
yeah.
That's my problem. I'm not in this game. I'm not in this game to. I've flipped some boxes. Don't get me wrong. I've done it. But if I order those and they come to the house, the chances that I'm going to flip boxes are not good because I don't sell too much. And maybe that's the play for now on. Buy the high end stuff and just not open and flip them. But
Yeah, I think looking back at it when that Dutch auction was live, I think we were all upset by the fact that it even was a Dutch auction because we thought it should have been a fixed price. But and we didn't really know what was going to happen afterwards. Like if it's sold out for 350 or sold out for 400, 375, 500, we're like, well, where does it go from here? Does it become a 550 box? Does it become $1,000? Who knows, right? So there's probably plenty of people sitting on the fence, kind of kicking themselves now, me included, saying I didn't buy any. But then again, you're also floating the capital. So looking at what your goals are, my goal was to have enough capital for the national, for other things coming up. And I didn't feel like depleting my capital to take that risk. So I didn't do it. Now, it's not wrong of me to do that. I mean, that seems like the very smart thing to do when you're being conservative. But I missed out. And now I'm not going to go chase it to go wait, buy a $600 version if I see one for sale on eBay to then wait for it to be $800. No, I'll just say, you know what? I screwed up. It didn't work out. Better luck next time. Hope for the next product. So, yeah, sure. That I coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? I spent
yep.
$575 on a update case of 2021. I probably should, in hindsight, I probably should have bought two Sapphire boxes, held them, sold them, and then bought the update case. But yeah, I'm no
Yeah,
genius.
I mean, here you go. I just got a box just sold for $735 on bids. $699 buy it now. There was a best offer. $699 buy it now. Um, so they're selling right around 700 bucks on eBay. $735 buy it now. But if anybody knows me by now, if you're watching, if I believe something, I'm going all in. So if I was gonna buy those at 375, I was gonna order 10 of them. And dude, that's 4K right there. It's 4K.
Yeah,
And then it's just
it's tough.
okay. Now I'm gonna hold them. Okay, I'm gonna put them here, right? And I'm gonna look at them every day, going, man, I should open this on the channel. Man, and then you open 4K with the cards, and then I just looked over Jackson Holiday cards from Sapphire, going, these are totally trash. I can't grade either one of these because they're so bad. So then you pull a Drew Jones, and you're like, these are trash. I can't grade them. You're like, why did I open these? So it's basically just flipping to sell them, and I don't know. I didn't really believe, but my mom's got a good one in the chat too. Um, this just came up today. I don't know if you saw this. I
I didn't
saw
see
it
it.
pop up. But the Bears are kind of they're in works in Arlington to buy the track area, and
Mm-hmm.
they're kind of with the taxes. I didn't read the whole article, but I saw something about the local taxes. They're starting to fight with the local government about
Mm,
stuff, and Naperville has now entered the discussion
really?
to draw them to Naperville. So I mean, I don't blame these teams for trying to get the best deal in the best location and something that's friendly for the
Yeah.
pocketbook. You know, it's a huge investment that they're going to spend on this to build it to have it
Chicago's
themselves.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Chicago is a big enough market where you got a lot of spoke cities that would love to host them, right? So it'd be like the
Yeah.
same thing here. If the Colts wanted to move out of downtown someday, you'd probably have Carmel, Fishers, Noblesville, Westfield fighting to build the stadium. They'd all want that tax revenue. They'd all want that, that game day revenue. Um,
I think
yeah,
the Arlington Heights is. I think they are crazy to not want the Bears in that area. If the Bears come out to that area, property values immediately go up in that area. It
yeah,
changes the whole area and the amount of revenue. Like I was even talking to my brother there for a while and a couple of friends. It's like if I should go buy a piece of land that's near there, like close. There's stuff for sale right now, and
yeah,
because if they commit to building there, it all goes up. Just
yeah.
but anyway, it's crazy
That's crazy.
business. Sports is big money in a lot of ways. Sports cards, betting, property, venues, parking, neighborhoods. I mean, look at Wrigley Field in Wrigleyville. If it
Hmm.
weren't for the Cubs Stadium being there, that is a whole different area. You
Oh, for
know?
sure, for sure. It's just a residential area then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there's no like game day presence with restaurants, bars, you know, stores and stuff. I heard the other
well,
day. I know we've got a box battle to probably attend to, but I heard the other day that Miller Park, or what's now known as American Family Field for the Brewers, they said that it needs a renovation, or the Brewers are going to be forced to move. And I thought, you guys are absolutely high if you think that that park is somehow crap. It's still a modern marvel. Yeah, it might need repairs, but that's one of the coolest ballparks. Just the way that roof opened, like the way they designed that, it was way ahead of its time. And I still think it's one of the coolest stadiums in the country, even though it's in the valley of Milwaukee. Not the most glamorous area, but it's still a cool ballpark and a great place to watch a game. I cannot believe that Rob Manfred said, "Yeah, they really need to renovate this field, or the Brewers are going to be forced to move in 10 years." And I thought, "You're nuts! Like, there's no way that will happen." That's, I think it's just talk.
yeah, I think so too. That I saw that pop up too, and that's so crazy, man.
I just thought, yeah, this is ridiculous to think that you would say that Miller. I keep calling it Miller Park. It'll always be Miller Park to
It's
me, but
always Miller Park, yeah.
yeah, you can't say that ballpark is crap. Like, no way. I'm sorry. Maybe it needs to be upgraded. Sure, fair enough. Maybe the outfield needs to be changed. That was one of the biggest gripes. Not a bad observation, right? It's a little rinky. It's a little weird. It's quirky, but I don't think it's bad. Yeah,
No,
I don't know.
I think it's a cruel place. White Sox Tom is in here. He says Rays need a new stadium more than any team. Well,
Oh, for
I
sure.
I I agree with that, except for the A's, and they're making the right move going to
Well,
Vegas because that
The A's
stadium's
they're just going to move out of the city and get a new
yeah.
stadium. Yeah, but the
It's
Rays, the Tropicana Field needs to be that is not a place for Major League Baseball. That one's not good.
they need to head to Nashville. The Rays should move to Nashville is what they should do.
That would be fun.
Speaking of the White Sox, when I got home from the card show to sit down to eat lunch, I turned on the end of the White Sox game. White Sox Tigers. And the bases were loaded. I think there was two outs. Pitcher throws a fastball. The catcher, I didn't see the interview, but the catcher was there in the ball. Dude, 96-mile-an-hour fastball to the dome of the umpire. I mean, it hit him directly in the face, knocked him out, dude.
Holy cow.
And it was it was crazy. It had to be a cross up because he was kind of setting low. I don't know if he was thinking there was a curveball coming, but oh my god, that was wild. I mean, dude, you should see the replay of it, John. The ball just the catcher's here, and he goes, "Oh crap!" And the
And it
umpire is square, like I mean, in the forehead, like boom. He fell down. Oh, it was bad, but it was what a crazy way to end a game.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was
I'll
cool.
check it
But
out.
You want a box battle, buddy?
We can do it. I know our viewers like it. It's almost 10 o'clock here on the East Coast. I don't know. I'm feeling like back-to-back weeks I'm going to win. I had a Bowman blaster box that treated me well the last time. I don't know.
How about one of us pull a colored Ellie De La Cruz, some parallel?
I would take any Ellie De La Cruz because I'd probably send it in if it was good. What can you pull out of here? You can pull superfractors out of here. You can pull reds out.
You can pull everything in
Pull
these,
some
man.
good stuff in here. All right, 6 packs. If we get a hit, we're going to save it.
Chromes. No good chromes in the first pack.
All right, first pack
Top
in.
100 list.
Mackenzie Gore, Max Muncy, Victor Labrada, and Brett Beatty.
Speaking of which, I made a sale today with the top 100s of 2023 Bowman. I sold 153 top 100s for $150, a buck a piece.
Okay.
One of my biggest sales today. So again, the little stuff pays off, guys. Ellie De La Cruz paper.
You got Ellie De La Cruz paper?
Paper, yeah, that's a couple dollar card.
Is it?
Which is crazy.
I got to go back and check and make sure I didn't miss that. If I had one. No, I didn't. What's an Ellie De La Cruz Chrome go for it?
$10 to $20 they're selling for. 10 to 20 bucks. Yeah, there's actual sales. There was a sale at $20. Now, are you gonna get 20? No, but I would say 10 is pretty. I had $10 price tag on mine today.
Okay.
Sold a couple. I have a big fat stack of them. Mello and Harry Ford.
I'm halfway through the box. Nothing great.
Yep, so far I got 3 packs to go and no hits. I didn't get a hit. Oh, we got a sky blue paper. It's either a veteran or rookie.
Wander rookie.
Veteran or rookie. Be a sky blue Wander? Nope. Sky blue Jose Abreu. That's not very good.
Forgot how bad the centering was on some of these.
Here's a Choyo paper.
Your box is way better than mine.
O'Neal Cruz paper, Mike Trout paper. Okay, so far.
It's a dusty box.
Yeah, it's just, you never know what you're going to get out of it. Hit or no hit. 2 packs to go.
All right. I got 1 pack to go, and I haven't got. I can't even tell you what my best card is. It's probably a Wander rookie. Got a hit. Got a hit.
He's got a hit.
It's on the back. Is it?
So that's going to be a prospect hit. Chrome hit?
This number. Ooh.
Got to be a chrome if it's the last 2.
Not the right color, but it almost looked like the background in the Ellie one. I know the Ellie one has like the fence in the background, so I looked at the side of the card. It's yellow. It's probably an A. It's probably like Max Money or something. I got a hit though. Got an Adley Hi-Fi. That's probably not going to get it done. I got a purple paper in this one too. Same pack.
2 hits. Yeah, that's
2 hits.
These are either awesome or they're duds.
I got a giant shortstop. Diego Velasquez, first paper purple.
Hey, it's a first purple. It's better than any card I got. Well, I mean, yeah, I would rather have that than my Ellie and Choyo papers.
And I still have 1 hit to go. It looks like A's colors.
John's going to take it down again.
Try and get that one in there. Is Diego Velasquez any good?
Not that I know of, at least as of now.
All right, who do we got for team? I was right. It is an A. Is it a first? It's a first. It's Max Muncy.
Not shabby. What color? Yellow?
It's
Or a
it's just
refractor?
the refractor out of $4.99.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Not bad.
Dang, son. You're on a roll with the Bowman Blasters.
Yeah, I've got 2 first hits in 1 pack.
That's a pretty successful Bowman box, if you ask me, for a blaster.
Yeah, it was totally trash bags until the last pack mojo. Like, I thought I was getting my butt whooped. But
Well, I think you took it down again.
I think I did. I'm on a roll with Bowman Blasters. Look at that. Max Muncy out of $4.99 and a Diego Velasquez out of $1.99. Pretty cool.
Heck yeah, buddy. Stu says, may have missed it. What was hot at the show today? The number one thing that I was asked for the most was Justin Fields. I did not even put out my Justin Fields PSA graded cards yet because the market's low. Everybody's buying him. I sold some Chorios and LA De La Cruzes today. Sold some Bobby Witts today. Sold a couple Wanderers today. And then my bulk boxes, guys, I just said a minute ago, my biggest sales today were bulk box sales. Again, 153 of the top 100 cards. Top 100 for 2023 Bowman. Sold 153 for 150 bucks, a buck a piece. Sold to multiple guys. One guy came by, picked out all Cardinals cards. I did a $40 sale to him. Stan comes by all the time. He buys tons of just certain players. Stadium Club Chrome, like Vladdy's, Judges. I think he spent 35, 40 bucks. There's just like those bulk box sales. If it wasn't for that stuff, I wouldn't have made any money today, really. So people kind of look at that stuff as garbage, but you got to put it in front of people who buy, you know?
Yeah, you never know who's trying to finish a set, who's trying to nickel and dime just like you are, try and figure out whether they have other buyers or something like that. But yeah, the thing I always say is every card has a buyer, right? Every card there's always a floor price and there's always a buyer. So you just never know who that buyer is.
Yep.
They all have some value. So you just got to find the right buyer.
Yeah, and I had my secret weapon today. My niece at the table today selling, and I told her, I said, your number one job today. Here's a tip for everybody. One, people are gonna buy from you if they like you, and if they get a good experience. And two, I told her, I said, hey, every person that walks by this table today, say hello, ask them how they're doing. And you guys, you would not believe how many people were walking by the table to just looking. Lots of people will look and then they'll go by and they'll just keep going. But if you say, hey, how you doing? How's your day? Comment on I like to look and see what people are wearing for shirts. Like there's a kid wearing an AC/DC shirt. I'm like, dude, I love that AC/DC shirt. A guy with Dale Earnhardt Jr. jacket. Like, dude, I love that jacket. It'll get people to stop and at least look at your stuff and have a conversation, And I think that's a big part of what the hobby is for me. There's the dealers who are, they're dealers who are in it as a business and they do it, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They do it all year round. I'm only doing it once a month. So to me, a lot of this is about the experience too, of just chatting. And yeah, selling cards is great. Making some money back is great, but making a fun day out of it and talking to different people. There's some funny conversations, dude. And there's some funny there's some funny personalities that are there as well. I saw Aaron from Slapstocks and his dad today. Talked to them for just a couple minutes. Um, but yeah, let's see here. Yes, Stu, I had my niece. She's gonna be a sophomore at TCU. Just finished her freshman year. I paid her good too, $100 to work the table for 7 hours. I don't think that's too bad.
Not bad.
You know, it was as much as she was gonna make it babysitting tonight, dude. $15 an hour she gets to babysit these days.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. I'm. How do these parents afford this stuff? $15 an hour for a babysitter?
Yeah. I think it's kind of like one of those things, like it's a going rate. So if the market pays it and parents like don't shop it around, then that's just kind of what the rate is, right? So
Yeah, man. Oh, that was fun,
good.
dude.
Thanks. What's that?
Another good show, man.
Another good show. A little bit long today, but thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed our banter and enjoy the box battle. I'm now 2 for 2 in my last 2, and I got to evaluate these cards and see if they're worth grading at all. I'll probably hold on to them for now, but somebody said Max Muncy's tearing it up, so go Max Muncy, the younger one. The older one's already in the major leagues, but no relation either. But yeah, I don't have anything else unless you do.
Nope. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully, we'll be back next week. I'm on summer vacay now, so I'm chilling.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, man.
Thanks, everybody. Brett, take us out of here.
Later. Peace.
Peace. Night, everybody.